Hey team, how are you? So now I want to talk a little bit about transcendence today. I want to share some thoughts, some ideas, some reflections that I've had about transcendence. So basically, in this situation, what I've seen is that thought is everything, and the highest form of thought, what we're here on planet Earth to do, is to transcend. And what that means is that, in essence, I believe we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And what that means is that, in essence, we're spirit, and we're attached to matter, to the physicality, and our journey in life is to return back to the spiritual. So the thing that comes in the way of our experience in the spiritual is the pain and suffering that we have, the feelings that we have that are related to the physical. So that's not just pain but pleasure also, the positive and the negative of matter, but we're attached to matter. And so, because I believe thought is energy and what we think is who we are, and the secret to life is that what you think is what you become, then you need to be able to elevate your thoughts to such a degree, in such a way, that you disconnect from matter, that you consciously are ambivalent to, have no connection to matter in your thoughts. So no pleasure or pain is related to your experience. You're able to detach from that experience, and that is like the fundamental, the most difficult thing. And if we can exercise our will, our concentration in our mind, to be able to get to that level where the urges that we have, whether they're the urges of which is our greatest urge, procreation, reproduction, sex, or our urges of food and hunger, or our urges of protecting ourselves from pain, from fear. If we're able to move above those by how we develop our thought, and we're able to disconnect from that experience in that space as it's happening, detach ourselves, then what we've done is we've exercised will to such a degree that we have transcended. We've gone above the physical, we've gone above matter, and we're at the dimension of the spiritual. So now, although we're still in the physical earth, on planet Earth, we've detached ourselves in thought from the physical. So we return back to being spiritual beings, but while still being connected on planet Earth in the physical. So, like I said, the journey of the human experience, the journey of our journey is that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So when we get to that detachment, we return back to being spiritual beings, having a spiritual experience, but while still on planet Earth. And so you have to think about that. You have to think about how and who and what kind of person can it be that can transcend, can disconnect from their attachment to the physical, the needs of the physical, the suffering of the physical, and transcend. Because when we are able to transcend, that's where enlightenment is, that's where all the knowledge is. And knowledge is at a higher dimension, and that we're able to access that. That's where all the wisdom is, and that's how we're able to lead. And so those are my thoughts for today. I think we have to develop practices, routines and rituals, prayers, that allow us to put the infrastructure in place to allow us to be able to transcend, doing the practice, and evolving our concentration and our mind to get to a stage. And it's all about thought. And the ultimate form of thought, you have to understand, is the annihilation of what's called the ego. The annihilation of the ego is how you transcend. The ego is related to the physical, both in terms of pleasure and pain. And so we have to annihilate the ego, and the way we do that is by getting present to the moment, recognizing the shortness of life, the certainty of death, the fact that we're alive, and recognize that we haven't created ourselves, and we're not indeterminate of we don't determine the output of our life, the outcome of our life. We're not in control. So we we surrender our consciousness, our awareness to a higher power. Recognize that there's something bigger and more powerful that exists in the universe, and we try and connect to that. So when we get that certainty of connection, it's in that realm we are able to annihilate our ego and transcend. And so when we have that certainty of the higher power, we have such absolute certainty, then the ability to disconnect from the physical, from the attachment to the physical, is very, very easy. So the journey is the practice of getting awareness of our existence and the higher power, and connecting to that, and getting such a realization of the certainty of the higher power, and the certainty of our limited existence, that everything else is inconsequential, doesn't matter at all. Talk to you guys soon. Bye now.